We are now? Yeah, now we are.
Oh, okay.
We might have been live. I'm not 100% sure.
Uh, fuck, I don't remember the shit. Shoot, I don't remember the shortcut. What was it? Nope,
Let's
nope.
see.
Shit. Shoot. Power Toys, that's what it's called. There we go. What's my shortcut? Windows Control T. Oh, there we go. All right.
We getting there?
What?
Cool. All right.
You live?
Yeah, yeah.
Why doesn't it show you?
Should be. I'm live.
Oh, there you are. There he
Yeah.
is.
We got 2.5 or 2 minutes 45 seconds. In on the dresser, I think.
That's a brisk beverage.
You like that? It's my favorite. Cause that's brisk, baby.
That was a fly. All right. I was like, that's either a fly or a spider. Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
My back hurts. I'm getting old.
You're getting old.
I feel like I'm getting really old.
So what happens when you get old?
It's like my social security number is 1.
There's nobody that has a one. They recycle those, don't they? Or
It's
do
like
they?
social security numbers. I don't think they do. I mean,
I tried to.
let's
Oh,
see.
that's what. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Never mind. The lowest the social security number you could have is 001010001.
Nero 1, Nero 1.
So that means the highest is what? 9999999. But they don't go in. Oh, they. I don't. What? I don't know. I'm confused.
I know. I don't know if they go in sequential now,
Yeah, I don't
but
think so.
my dad and my aunt, even though
Does your
there's
social security number indicate your race?
no, it indicates what state you were from. I know that. But my dad and my aunt have sequential social
Whoa,
security
what?
numbers.
There's a rumor
20
that if
seconds.
you're a minority, the fifth digit will be even, but if you're white, it'll be odd.
The fifth number.
Mine is odd.
Mine's odd.
Must be white.
Yeah, my aunt and my dad's are sequential, and even though there's 3 years, I think, separating them, they neither one of them had their got their social security numbers like after they were born. Like dad didn't get his social security number until he was like 4. And so when they applied for my aunt's, or they didn't apply for my aunt because she's older. And then when my dad was born, they did all the paperwork for both of them. So there's 3 or 4 years age difference between the two of them. I think it's 3 years. 3-year age difference between the two of them, and they have sequential social security numbers.
How did we even? Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here, but okay.
I don't know.
Don't forget to hit the
Welcome
recording
to-
button.
Welcome
Doo-doo-doo.
welcome to what the fuck is Craig?
Aha. I remembered to click off the show non-video participants in time.
All right. Welcome to Pig's Pod, the politically incorrect gaming podcast. I am Oreo.
And I am Q-Stick. How are you?
What episode is this? 111?
111. 11D1. We are now
It's
the
August 20th, 11D1.
11D1. We are now the age that Bilbo was when he left the Shire for the final time.
He's 111?
Yep, he was 11D1.
You know that show's not real, right?
What?
It's made up.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
All right, then.
That's
You
like this.
just keep your secrets.
My friend's sister, she used to babysit this girl, and like she would watch the Hannah Montana show. And we were telling her like, yeah, you know Hannah Montana's not real, right? And she's like, no, she is real. And we're like, no, that's just
Well,
Miley Cyrus.
I mean, technically she's real. You know.
Yeah, that girl was weird. She'd go like that, but then breathe out of her nose at you.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That little girl was fucking weird.
There we go. Let's move
Dude, for
that. That's
years, me and my buddy would do that to each other. Just make fun of her. But she wasn't hissing at you. You breathe out of your nose, right? So you open your mouth, but then you,
Ow.
yeah.
That's
Now I'm gonna start
fucking
doing that
weird.
again.
That's weird.
Yeah, she was fucking weird.
Oh man! So last week I didn't feel the greatest, so I was kind of like, I don't really feel like doing the show. I'm going to bed.
You're not that important. There's so much more going on. There's the Hawaii's burning down.
Man, have you seen some of the videos and shit, like the non-official, like live leak type
Yeah.
videos where they're pulling charred bodies out of the river?
It's insane. Fucking there's some of the ever since COVID. I don't know what it was, but like stupid people. Oh, maybe it was Trump. No, that's what I'm thinking.
Shocking.
Stupid people are just not afraid to like reveal how fucking dumb they are anymore. Like the amount of conspiracy theorists and like the trees aren't burning, and like just the wildest shit. Like,
It's pretty terrible, and I've been kind of following that, and then you've got I guess it's the hurricane that's happening in California right now. They just
yeah, Hillary's back. Check her emails.
yeah, as I say, she's doing the blowing this time.
Isn't it in Florida and in LA? Like it's hitting the whole.
What? No.
I thought it started in Florida, but it's gonna hit hardest in LA or some crazy shit. I don't know. It's just on the west.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, it should be making landfall within the next like 2 to 3 hours. I think, where the eye is supposed to make landfall like 2 to 3 hours.
It's already started flooding like everywhere. I've seen crazy videos.
Yeah, the flooding is bad. And what annoys me, I mean, I can't speak for you because I know you're on kind of on that side of the country, but on the East Coast, like we don't take them too like uber seriously where I live, but if a hurricane's coming, we're going to take it pretty seriously. And everybody, like, I've seen tons and tons of TikToks of people being like, so it's just going to be a little rain, right? Like, it's not going to be that bad. I'm like, yeah, actually, it's not the fact that it's going to be rain. It's the fact that it's going to be a lot of rain in a short period of time. and
And
it's
the infrastructure is not set up to deal with that amount of fucking water.
well,
It's
yeah,
gonna flood shit, ruin shit. Power's gonna be out.
yeah, and people are like, "Oh my God, we could lose power." Like, yeah, you could
Yeah,
lose
but,
power for days.
yeah, for days, a week, maybe weeks, it could be.
It's
Oh,
like,
DoorDash suspended deliveries in Los Angeles. Fucking
oh man,
scum.
well,
Fucking
they
scum.
don't
You
have
should force those drivers to go deliver food.
they don't have they don't have Waffle
Krusty
Houses
Krab
over
pizza.
there to be able to judge like whether or not they need to stay open or like keep infrastructure going.
Oh,
Because that's how we do it on the East Coast. You know, if Waffle House is open, you can go to work.
yeah.
But no,
Until they start friggin'
the problem that they're
their
gonna
picket lines.
the problem that they're gonna face is it's a desert, and you know the ground just doesn't soak water, so that water is just going to hit and it's just going to run. So I mean, it's going to be bad, and I don't understand that like no one over there's like taking it seriously,
A
and
couple people. I don't know.
yeah,
We're in this weird age where like everyone thinks everything's a conspiracy and it's fake.
well I just
But then at the same time, you have all the Christians going, "Look how good God is. The church didn't fall down." And you go,
wait a
wait,
minute,
what?"
yeah. Well, I want to remind the people of California that the people of Texas they bitched about or they were like "Ugh, that winter storm's not gonna be that bad. It's Texas. We don't get winter. And then like half of Texas froze to death. That's kind of what's going to happen in California if you don't take it seriously. Like it's going to
Yeah.
suck. I mean, you're going to lose power. You're going to have widespread flooding. And
Oh, they just had an earthquake like in
yeah, a couple hours ago they had a
a couple hours ago.
5.4
5.1.
a 5.1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then one guy I watched a TikTok and this guy was like, yeah, it wasn't like the really rapid shaking like a typical earthquake. It was more of like a swaying earthquake. I'm like, well, yeah, everything's wet. You know, it's not this brittle stuff pushing on each other. I mean, this is you're going to have this wet ground, and it's not going to be
Oh,
good.
it was the Who's in Whoville. That's what it was. They were singing a song.
Da hu do re. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, I hope everything works out, and I hope it's. I hope
Alright.
I hope everything. I hope everybody's gonna be fine, and I know. I mean, there's going to be loss of life. That's unavoidable,
Unfortunately.
and I hope that it is not. I was seeing that it looks like it's going to do more. It's going to hurt Vegas more than anything on the coast. Just the way the rain bands are coming in.
Yeah, Vegas
So-
needs a good wash. I don't know if you've been there recently, but
I haven't been there in 12, 13 years. It's been a minute since I've been to Vegas.
yeah, you might want to go after it's been washed. Oh, it's
Wash all the sinners
unfortunately
away.
we live in like it's so ironic that like we live in a country that literally doesn't prepare, doesn't do anything, and then kind of does their best to clean up and help a little bit. But then like a natural disaster helps somewhere else. And
Well,
then all everyone does is bitch and moan. Why weren't they prepared? Why didn't they do it? Why are we helping them?
yeah.
What? It's like, what do you mean? In our own country, we don't prepare. Nobody leaves. Nobody evacuates. Nobody fucking does anything. There's no infrastructure set up to help or do anything. How many fucking how many houses and shit that are in tornado lane? How much shit in Florida? You think by now they'd be used to hurricanes? They know how to build.
I just wouldn't fucking live there. Like
Yeah, like,
that's my
they
whole
still
thing.
do.
It's like I get it. You're from Florida, and there's this like culture of like, oh, we're going to rebuild. I'm like, why? Like, why in the
Yeah.
world would you build? You know, build your home, build your property on a peninsula that is susceptible of these types of attacks from these storms from literally the north, south, and east, or excuse me, the east, west, and south.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
it's
getting
just
fucked from every
every
side,
direction.
every
It's
way.
like no. You know,
That'd be like back in the day when it actually would be less ridiculous back in the day, but back in the day, you're setting up your first village ever. You fucking, you know, lay your claim, you get your land, and you're going for the gold rush. And then, like, a herd of fucking like what is it called, a herd? What do you call a bunch of bears? The bears,
A
is
family,
it a flock?
a flock of bears.
What are bears? A bunch of bears come through.
Let's
Fucking Yogi
see.
comes through and just obliterates your family, kills a bunch of people you know, and like fucks up your town and like knocks buildings over. And then like the next week, you're building your shit back up. Well, that's not a very good analogy because how often do bears come through? But the first time, okay, all right,
It is
Goldilocks.
a group of bears is called a sleuth or a sloth of bears.
A sleuth. All right, so a sleuth. And Matt, all right, so you're Goldilocks, or no, I don't know where I'm going. A sleuth comes through once. All right, shame on. It's a shame, just a shame. Shame on nobody. But then a sleuth comes back through, and then you start building again. You just start building again, and like the I don't know. It makes no sense to me. People that like just willingly live in Florida, not even counting hurricanes alone, but we're just talking.
Just living in Florida in general.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's wild that people willingly do that, but especially for a hurricane. And I get it. There's always the argument. Well, they don't have money to move. All right, they don't have money to rebuild either when the hurricane knocks their house down.
yeah, how are they rebuilding?
Yeah, I know you know. I don't have fucking money to pay bills and shit either, but I'm not gonna willingly just have everything out and my whole family where the sleuth could come rolling through.
Ugh, it's gonna be scary. I mean, I really feel for them. I don't. I wouldn't want to be a part of it. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure. Let's see. I haven't checked to see what the weather looks like over there either. Like how bad,
Oh,
how things are going over there. I've watched
I'm
it. I've
pretty
watched
sure.
it a little bit, and I mean I've been following it mostly through TikTok because why not?
That's how I've seen a bunch of it. There's probably some live video. I don't know though.
Let's see. Hurricane tracker.
Webcams Mexico. There's a webcam from the Mexican beach.
Yeah, I've seen some wild fucking video from Mexico.
I
Uh,
hope. I hope. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's gonna be loss of life. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done about it now.
let's see. It looks like it has just made landfall, right? Or is that? No, it hasn't. Well, it's made landfall in Mexico. It's at Punta Cornet. Um, so it's maybe 400 or 500 miles south of the California the California border.
Yeah,
So
I heard we might even get a little bit of like after effects here in Utah, but I don't know.
yeah,
It feels like we're so far away, but they're saying,
yeah. I was looking at it right now. Yeah, you will probably get some rain bands in. Let's see. Looking at this, I would say.
you know, look on the weather watch.
Um. Yeah, most of the stuff is sticking to the still in Nevada through 3 a.m. But yeah, it's a possibility through the middle of the day tomorrow that you guys will probably get some weather from it. Well, it won't be a whole lot, but I mean, yeah, you're going to get something from it.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
crazy
see.
how big it is that it makes landfall in Los Angeles and you're in Utah and getting,
Yeah,
it's just
gonna
crazy.
get
Yeah, it's like that
the
here.
outer edges.
Yeah. It makes landfall in North Carolina and then, we get rain bands as far out as where I live. It's insane. But yeah,
Well, I
it's
hope it's not as bad as it could be, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, on a lighter note, more exciting news, happier stuff.
okay. What's up?
Happy. Uh, so I didn't realize Star Wars has been going ham, releasing all kinds of Ahsoka clips.
Oh, they're peddling.
They're all like
They're hyping this
15 to
hard.
like 30 seconds long. There's nothing like that crazy. I did watch a fan edit though, just a minute before we got on. That's why we started a couple minutes late. Watched a fan edit. They put all their clips together and made like their own like trailer.
Well, it's gonna be good. I
It's
mean,
cool. I did see that supposedly the first two episodes got leaked online.
oh really?
I looked and I didn't see him in the usual places, but I've seen I seen briefly. I won't talk about it or talk about any spoilers, but I've seen basically what the first two episodes are about.
Oh, cool.
So it does have me excited. Filoni wrote the first episode.
Okay.
Or, sorry, he wrote a majority of all the episodes. He directed the first episode, is what I meant to say.
Mm.
And then he directed the fifth episode, I believe. The rest, it's going to be like the rest of the Mandoverse, where there's various directors and different crews.
How many Bryce Dallas Howard episodes are we going to get? Because that's really what matters.
I don't think she directed a single one.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I didn't see her
That
on
would
the list at all.
That would suck because that was who I was hoping for. Really, honestly,
She,
her and
she
Deborah
did a
Chow, I think,
great
are the
job.
best.
Yeah, Dave Filoni, Steph Green did a few, Peter Ramsey, and then Dave Filoni, then Jennifer Getzinger, Gita Patel, and then the finale is directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
Yeah, he's done stuff before.
He's done The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Rick. Peter Ramsey, I think, also did.
If I'm not mistaken, that
Peter Ramsey did both the Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse. Oh, sorry, he produced. He didn't direct those. He directed... Oh, no, he did. He directed Spider-Verse and Mandalorian. He directed an episode of that. It's like he's been around, so I don't know. The main part, when I went back and looked, because, like, all right, so, you know, we've talked about Filoni and Favreau and this and that.
right?
Like we're gonna have the same conversation. We probably said this exact thing.
Okay.
I love Favreau.
Right.
He's fucking great. He's a really good creator. Almost anything he touches, unless he's handed a pile of shit and said somehow make this work, like the Lion King live action, I will not believe that on Favreau. Sorry. But other than that, most stuff he touches is just really good. It's just really fucking good. He knows how to get a team together. He knows how to collaborate. He knows how to make good shit happen. Filoni is fucking that, but for Star Wars.
Yep.
Favreau, you can hand anything. Filoni has been doing Star Wars for so fucking long. And
well, I mean, it's not just that he's been doing it for so long. It's the fact
he's been a fan for.
he's been a fan, but he was George Lucas's protege.
Yeah.
You know, George sat down
George
and
took him under his wing and said, "You're gonna continue on my fucking legacy.
Yeah.
Here's some ideas that I've had." I mean, they created Ahsoka together.
Yep. And he sat there and he got all of the lore from the source. And now he kind of is the source.
Well, yeah, like when we talked about in some of the trailers for Ahsoka, they're using orange sabers, and somebody asked Filoni in a interview, and he said, "Yeah, they're for orange for a reason. It's not just a lighting choice."
Of course,
he's like, "We don't do that. I make choices for reasons."
Yeah, it's like everything is done on purpose. Everything has a purpose.
Yeah. Which I'm trying to remember when you told me to watch Rebels. I wasn't as familiar with Filoni probably, let's say 2 years ago. I don't remember when, maybe a year ago.
Okay.
Probably told me. I don't remember when it was. But I've now watched almost all the stuff. I don't know if I'll ever go all the way through Clone Wars. We'll see. I might. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. Like I'll give you that.
But I've watched everything else he's done besides that.
And it's not just a lot. I mean, it's a lot of the show was never meant to be. It wasn't meant to survive the way it was. It wasn't meant to become the phenomena that it was or that it is. And a lot of the early stuff really shows that, especially in the first two seasons when so much of the episodes were not released in the order that they were in like canon and like in the timeline. It jumps around because it's like 3 or 4 episodes in. Do you get the like origin story of how the guys that make up the 501st went through training? So when people are like, "Hey, you're gonna watch, Clone Wars," you need to watch it in a certain order. Like you don't sit down and watch it, Clone Wars season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to go like Clone Wars season 2, season 3, whatever, and watch it in a certain order.
And maybe I'll watch like a fan abridged version or something that's in the correct order.
Oh shit! And
I'm sure it exists, but like, yeah, I think I watched.
There's a machete order.
I think I watched like episode 1 and 2, and I was like, it's just not the same. His animation style and his storytelling style. Now, to be fair, he didn't write every single episode on Rebels or the Bad Batch. He wrote a lot of them, and he was the like co-director and like the executive, the man in charge, the guy, telling everyone what to do. But he didn't write every single episode. Again, it was kind of like all these other Star Wars projects. There was a ton of writers and directors and different things. But
and shout out to Rabble for the 12-month subscription. Appreciate that.
The bacon's been cooking for 12 months. Look at that. But yeah, these are all his characters, and this is like his co-Star Wars universe. This is the Filoniverse now. We've experienced for years Lucas's Star Wars everything. So now we're in the Filoniverse. I mean, everyone calls it the Mandoverse, but we're in the Filoniverse. Everything in Ahsoka is Filoni.
Yep.
It's all his characters, his, I did see another thing. I don't know if it's really a spoiler. I don't know. I've heard that Thrawn and Ezra will not interact in any way in the entirety in the first season of Ahsoka.
As long as we get them both, I don't care. It's fine.
I won't say either, but I'm really excited for the end of episode 1. No spoilers, but
yeah, we know it's going to be Thrawn. You got to give us that. You got to give us that hand job right there out of the gate. Give the fans what they want.
I don't know when he shows up. I was so focused on looking for, because I didn't want to read the whole thing, so I like glanced through it for my favorite characters, which, you should all know who those are.
Yeah, so literally you were just looking for Chopper and what he's up to the entire time.
Oh, Chopper! Fucking! Did you watch the thing they released like 2 days ago? The clip.
Which one? I've seen a little bit.
The one, basically Chopper. Well, the first
maybe
like
not. Maybe
30 seconds of it.
Oh.
It released it 2 days ago. It's like a 50-second clip, but the first like 30 seconds is Hera like flying and avoiding getting shot at, and Chopper's like banging on the side of the ship.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like, they nailed Chopper live action wise. Like it's perfect. I don't know about the rest of the characters yet, but Chopper is Chopper. It's perfect.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm trying not to get too excited because I don't want to overhype it, and then like it's kind of subpar, and then I don't want to accidentally disappoint myself.
Well,
overhyping Filoni's work.
I'm excited because Thrawn is my favorite character, and I was so excited that we got him back in Rebels, and then
he's by far the coolest bad guy.
He is. He's so much more like a more well-rounded bad guy than any of the other bad guys in Star Wars, because it's like it's not even that he's not even. I think Darth Vader knows that deep down he's the bad guy. The Emperor knows he's the bad guy. Thrawn is just this is the way it's got to be. I got to do this. This is the way it is. And those are the ones that are most dangerous.
Yeah. Thrawn says this is the way, but on the bad side.
Yeah.
I don't know. It should be really good. I'm excited to see Hayden Christensen back.
Oh, me too.
I've already heard some voice lines from him, and it's fucking. I mean, it's gonna be good. I'm glad that fans have welcomed him back so much, but at the same time, Star Wars fans are Star Wars fan again. They're already ripping apart that clip from 2 days ago. Why is everything so washed out? It's so boring. Like this
fuck
and that.
those guys.
Why is it?
Like,
Yeah,
stop.
that's what I say.
Because
Shut the fuck
well,
up.
my thing is if you keep berating these these IPs, these franchises, they're just going to stop doing it, and we're not going to
Yeah.
get anything.
Well, yeah, you're gonna lose. Favreau won't deal with it. He's got other shit to do. The only one that might still be around is Filoni. Seems like he doesn't give two flying fucks. He's like, no, I'm doing Star Wars for the rest of my life. I don't know. You think Filoni would get retired eventually? How long has he been doing Star Wars now? Let's look.
The Clone Wars started in what 2007, 2008 when that one started. The Clone Wars started.
2008.
Yeah. So
And before that, he did a bunch of animation for a bunch of Disney shows.
So yeah, I mean he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah, so fucking 15 years of Star Wars.
But then again, I mean, look how long George Lucas did it.
I think that's about the same time.
And then
I don't know, when did the original
77?
No, he did it for longer. Because the prequel trilogies didn't come out till what, 2002?
The early 2000s.
Yeah, so no, he did it for longer.
I remember when I was a kid and getting to see the 20th anniversary when they re-released the movies in the theaters and everything. It had like the new CG and the extra scenes added. God, it was the coolest thing. I wasn't old enough to see the original movies in theaters, but man, when they re-released them back then, that was so cool. So cool. That was the start of my dad and I going and seeing all of the trilogy movies started around that same time. Because you had Spider-Man came out, The Matrix. There was
dude, so much good stuff.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings was around that same time. Then you rolled into the prequel trilogy was there. Like there was just boom, 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 amazingly good franchises, one after one after one after one, and it was great. It was great.
Well, it's because we're in this weird spot now that it's been going on for longer than anyone in Hollywood will admit. But ever since Netflix, even releasing, DVDs before they even streaming made it worse. They still haven't figured out how to monetize it. And the little bits that they have been able to monetize, the way America has gone, the CEOs keep making more and more. The little bit they've been able to monetize, haven't spread the wealth.
Right.
So all the good creatives, how many good writers have actually just quit altogether or gone to video games or just done other things?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's going to continue. And that's why we support the strikers. Go get it done. Go get your dollar. I mean,
I hope it gets better, and I hope they figure it out, or we're gonna have a real lull in. Because we grew up in a time of fucking banger after banger after banger. I feel bad for my kids. They get to see one good movie every 5 years.
Yeah, and then they're constantly remaking the old movies, and
it's all the same fucking shit. It's not even good. Who the fuck greenlit Little Mermaid?
I don't know.
As live action. I don't give a fuck what color you make the mermaid.
I don't care.
That part doesn't bother me. The entire idea of you thinking you can make Little Mermaid live action and make it look good. How? Did you not learn from Favreau and Lion King? You gave to Favreau, a fucking genius who created Marvel, and he couldn't make Lion King fucking work in live action. You were like, you know what? Let's get somebody way less talented, and we're gonna try Little Mermaid too.
Well, right now the hate is falling on. They're remaking Cinderella. No, not Cinderella. I'm sorry, Snow White. It was Snow White.
Why?
And
that's already. You know how many snow fucking white movies there are?
They're not going to do. They're not doing the dwarfs. Are not. There's not actually going to be dwarfs in it. And even the dwarf community is
That's the
why
one
the
thing
fuck
I would
not?
want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, hire those guys. Those guys need work.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The only work they fucking get is on Star Wars.
Well, and then
Star
there
Wars
was
and Harry Potter.
then there was I saw a thing where they were talking about the costuming from the movie, and the
For Snow White?
for Snow White, the dress that she wears, like the iconic blue and white dress and the red that you see in Snow White. People were like, it looks like trash. And if you look at it, I could do that level of costuming.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very good seamstress. And people are like,
The original Snow White director's son, because this is how long ago Snow White came out. He's 91.
yeah, it's
He slams
1937.
Disney's upcoming remake as woke and not into any of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's woke. It's just fucking dumb.
Well, the thing on the dress is people are like really just ragging on the dress, and people are like, oh, well, you don't like the dress because you're racist. Like, no, it's bad. The dress, the costume is bad. It is not the type of costume that should be what you. When you see it, it looks terrible. Like, Google it. It looks horrible.
That blows me away. Okay, they're so obsessed with doing all these live action remakes of all their old greats, and there's an entire conspiracy theory around why. But what are all the fans begging for? What have they been begging for fucking 10 years?
New shit.
Live action remake. No.
New shit.
For live action remake.
Oh, live action remake.
There's two movies that people will not shut the fuck up about.
I would.
Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
And Treasure Planet.
But those aren't Disney movies. Aren't those 21st Century Fox movies? Isn't that where they came from? I know Atlantis.
Treasure Planet, I believe, is Disney. I think Atlantis is, yeah.
Because wasn't it like it wasn't it a part of that same genre of or like era of cartoons with like Secret of Nim, Fievel Goes West.
A bunch of those.
You know, what was the other one that I really liked? The other
Treasure Planet.
Titan AE.
Treasure Planet is Disney.
Are they both Disney? Okay, but
I don't know about Atlantis.
Yeah, Rabble says they're both Disney.
They are both Disney. Yeah, so how you have fans literally telling you, "I will go see it," and they go, "You know what? How about Snow White?"
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Give me a rated R version of Secret of Nim, because as far as I was concerned, that movie was rated R when I saw it when I was little. And it was a cartoon. It freaked me the fuck out.
I just seen the dress.
Looks terrible.
It does look like.
It looks like amateur cosplay.
It looks like your teenager got into cosplay and they were going to go to their first con, and you wanted to help, and she said, "I can do that myself." She's never made a dress before. She has no idea how to do. She's not a seamstress. It looks like they threw some shit together they found at the fucking Dollar Tree.
Yeah, it does. It looks really, really bad. And I mean, in this, it comes back to like, if the girl you're talking about, if she had created that dress and wore it to a convention, I'd been like, hey, you did a great job. That's a great dress for somebody with minimal, costuming skills.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking the teen.
Yeah,
if that's your first dress you've ever done, that's fucking amazing. That's better than anything I could make.
Exactly.
I'm saying as a fucking multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah,
that's what you came up with.
This is a Disney costumer making that
for your fucking. Oh yeah, Titan AE was a good one too.
God, I fucking love Titan AE. That's one of my favorite movies.
All these fucking banger. Okay, there's a whole YouTube video about Treasure Planet, and the writers actually had a sequel in the works.
Oh really?
Yeah. There's it's literally, it's one of the most fascinating thing. You need to go watch the YouTube video about it. So the people at Disney, the old heads, that some of them are still there. There's a whole thing about why they didn't want Treasure Planet ever made in the first place. And they kept telling the writers, no, it's going to suck. It's going to fucking suck. Just make the movies we want. So they made Little Mermaid, and then they made... I watched the documentary thing like a year and a half ago, so I'm trying to piece it together in my mind. They wanted to make Treasure Planet for like 12 years, and Disney kept saying no. So they made... It's like Little Mermaid, and then they said, can we make Treasure Planet now? And they said no. So then they made, I believe those same writers made Lilo and Stitch. And then they said, can we do Treasure Planet? No, that was later. That was what they made them do after, instead of the sequel. I don't. Go watch look it up on YouTube after the podcast here. Look up Treasure Planet. I don't know what you type in. Conspiracy? Treasure Planet. Oh yeah, look up Treasure Planet Conspiracy on YouTube. Let me make sure that's the yeah. Almost any of those videos you click on will work, but I think it's like a 20-minute video. Yeah, there's a whole thing that Disney kept saying no, and then these writers made like banger after banger, and they're like, trust us, this is our favorite, this is what we want to do, this is gonna blow all this other out of the water. And Disney's like, no, it won't. Fucking try it. So Disney let them make it, and then they tried to tank it. They wouldn't advertise it. They wouldn't push it. They fucking tried to hide it. They didn't tell anybody it was releasing in theaters, and it still fucking did well because it was a fantastic movie. And then the writer said, "See, it was good," and they're like, "Well, the numbers were iffy." And they're like, "No, trust it's good. Let us make the sequel." And Disney never would let them. So I believe they both quit and no longer work at Disney now. The two there's like a duo that wrote it. Oh, well, look up the thing on YouTube and watch it because I can't remember it. I can't remember it all. It's a very Disney thing to do, though, and I imagine that whole fiasco around that whole thing. That probably why they might never make it. But you know how big corporations like to listen to Pig's Pod and do the opposite of what we say. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in 2 months they announce Treasure Planet remake coming. Yeah, I don't think it'll ever get made because of the originals that wrote it, and Disney just did not agree with them and didn't want to make it. So,
Ugh, it's just bad decision making. The dress thing still has me upset and annoyed.
yeah,
It's just so bad.
the bottom's just like a yellow. Just it's just yellow. I mean, I guess is that what it would have looked like if like that was real? What's the time period for Snow White? Like where?
I don't. I mean, it would have been. I mean, we'll say. I guess maybe like 1700s, late 1700s.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I guess
maybe.
back no, even back then they could have made something that looks better than that.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess maybe if you maybe it doesn't look good because it's one of those things where the way they have to shoot it, it makes it look. They have to make it look a certain way. So I mean, I guess maybe, but it's just I don't know. But I mean, but people are like, "Oh, you can't say these things because you're racist." Like, I don't even know who that girl is. Like, oh, is she white, Latina? Like, I don't care. I
Yeah,
feel I'm not racist towards her. I just feel bad she's stuck in that shitty ass dress.
well, just like Little Mermaid, I don't care what race you make Little Mermaid. The whole idea is fucking stupid.
All I'm asking,
I don't want to see a live action under the sea with fucking horrible looking. The whole thing that I'm stuck on, which I'm not a professional artist. I don't work for Disney. How do you make the fish and the and Sebastian? How do you make them look good? Do you make them look like real crabs and just hope for the best? Because the thing with talking dogs and talking cats and shit, they're adorable already. You
yeah,
just make the mouth move. You're good to go. A crab is fucking horrifying looking. Have you looked at a fucking crab? It's creepy as fuck. And you're gonna do close up shots and have it singing and stuff. How are you gonna make that look good? So you have two choices: just leave it creepy looking and hope for the best, or do what they haven't done in years. I don't think I've seen one in 20 years. You remember back in the day they used to do like animation mixed, like
oh, you're talking like who
like Space
framed
Jam.
or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit
Fucking
or
great
Space
movie.
Jam, where you mix the live action with the cartoons. They could have done that, and it probably would have been better. But no, they tried to make them look realistic. I don't know. I'm really anti Little Mermaid. I don't like it.
Well, my thing is just give us new content. Like
Or do that.
that's all I care about. I mean, I don't even care if it's bad content. At least it's not the same rehash of because I remember Izzy went and saw the Little Mermaid, and even she was like, "Why did they make this? Like, why is this a thing?" And I mean, all right, when the 8-year old says it's bad, then I feel like I can be justified and say, "Okay, it was bad."
Yeah. Do they not screen test anything anymore?
Well, they probably do, but they screen tested in front of a bunch of yes men.
Oh yeah, that
And it's just
I
like,
don't know. I just don't, they need to get Bob out of there. Is number one. They need to
agreed.
get Kathleen out of there. Number two.
Well, yeah. I just put Filoni in charge. Put
Yeah.
Filoni in
Well.
charge, and then put all direction under Deborah Chow and Bryce Dallas Howard, and I'll be fine. Like that's it. I'm happy. I
Oh
can.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Imagine if they made Bryce like head cinematographer or something.
Oh, I think the greatest thing about her is the fact that I really want to know, is her talent, is it because she spent her entire childhood on movie sets with her dad?
Yeah, watch that probably.
Or is it, or is the, being a fantastic director and cinematographer genetic? Because either one I would believe.
I don't think that's a genes thing. I think that's a thing you learn. Like,
Yeah, I mean, she just grew up in like
sports
the.
sports can be genetic, I'd say, because you need like a good muscle structure. You got to be strong and whatnot. But even then, sports, you have that extra advantage. If you fucking were or Michael Jordan's son, not Michael Jackson's son.
I mean,
God
yeah.
forbid you're Michael Jackson. If you're Michael Jordan's son, and you already have the genes, but on top of that, you get to watch one of the best do it all day, every day,
Right. Well, I
and
think
have
that's
behind the scenes. Oh, this is why that, and this is why that.
well, that's the reason why I feel like Bryce's abilities are basically, I think it's kind of both, because she does have the genetics of her dad, but then she also was on the set with her dad growing up and listening to her
Yeah,
dad talk about this, and she was
he's still
fully
alive, right?
Ron Howard, yeah,
Ron Howard.
yeah,
I was just looking. I was scared because he's like 70 now.
he's like
Yeah, he's still alive.
10 years or so older than my parents ish. So yeah, oh, I love Bryce
Oh,
Dallas Howard. She's wonderful.
she's awesome. Her episode of The Mandalorian was one of the best ones.
Everything she does
It
is
was,
amazing. But yeah, well, that scene where they're, the ATST is coming through coming through, and you just see the red lights, and you're just like, God damn, that's terrifying. Like that's what the doing these, releasing these movies and the releasing the shows and whatnot really gives us more in depth of how just bad the Empire really was, and Rogue
oh
One
yeah,
gives us a peek into
yeah,
how
Rogue
how bad
One.
Darth Vader was, and then we see Darth Vader during the Obi-Wan show, and you're just like, God damn, he really was just an absolute fucking nightmare. And I think we're going to get more of that in Ahsoka, because
Oh yeah,
she's going to have these flashbacks. She's going to have these, like, looking back on different stories and reminiscing of what life was before, and you know and yeah, and like you said too, I'm really excited that Hayden Christensen is back, and he's getting the love that he deserves.
yeah.
It's not the fact that it
It
wasn't.
wasn't his fault that the prequels were the way they were.
No, I mean the writing was not the greatest, but there's a big difference between writing dialogue and telling a story, and the
Yeah.
stories were good. The dialogue was
Yeah, that was the
a little
problem.
rough.
The story was great. If you think of them as an overall movie, they're fine. But the individual moments, other than the whole fucking scene where Anakin's burning up and Obi-Wan, and that whole scene, the dialogue's great. But I think George Lucas put everything he had into making good dialogue into that one scene.
Well, it's also it's not hard to write. I mean, I don't want to say that. I think it's easier to write an emotional scene like that than it is to just tell me about, I don't know, tell me about the sand. It was
Yeah.
just I mean, or in in the later cases now, tell us about how Palpatine came back. Like, come on. Like,
Somehow Palpatine
so,
returned.
yeah, okay, cool. I feel like I would care less.
It's crazy that they wrote that down as an idea, and then they also made that dialogue. Palpatine return.
Advantage on all attack rolls. Oh, it's just.
Either way, I'm looking forward to Filoniverse. Fucking.
Oh, me too. I cannot wait.
Also, Disney did say he can make Bad Batch season 3, but it sounds like that's going to be the last. From what I've heard, I guess we'll see how well it does. I don't know.
Well,
I guess Skeleton Crew is also still being made, even though I've heard multiple rumors it's canceled. I've heard that it's not. It is coming.
Well, I think that right now it feels that everything Filoni is working on is filling in the giant plot holes that the sequel trilogy kind of created.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how these movies work out, because the last ones, let's be honest, they didn't go so well.
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't.
And as far as I know, because they still haven't figured out how to make money streaming, even though they do make money, what I'm saying is they don't make enough. The thing that happened is all the CEOs and everyone still wanted the same paycheck, but they don't make as much streaming. So instead of keeping it the same percentage-wise,
right,
they still kept making the same amount of money, and then there was literally crumbs left over for all the writers and actors, and just fucking fuck you, good luck, buddy. You know, and then you release just not great movies, and movies just keep going downhill, and like costs keep going up, and like, so I get it, but the ones that need a budge are the ones that don't want to budge. You don't need fucking $200 million a year. I don't care what you do. Like,
no, there is nothing. There is
even Filoni. I wouldn't, if they said, "Oh, we're gonna pay Filoni $200 million a year," I'd go, "Woo." Well, I mean, he's great, but I don't know if he's worth that.
No, there isn't a entertainment position anywhere in the world that should pay that much money. Not to an actor, not to a writer, not to a CEO. I mean,
to someone that throws a fucking football.
No,
like, you don't need $200 million a year, buddy. I'm sorry, you don't.
Well, my thing is, I think 99 million should be the cap. Like, that's it. You get $99 million. Everything after
just stop getting more money.
Yeah, you're capped at $99 million. As soon as you cross that, you're taxed at 100%. You're just taxed.
The funny thing is, they will freak out about it and they say no and this and that. But like, when you really think about it, really sit down and think about it, there's nothing you could want or buy that you would need more money than that.
Right, and that's $99 million a year. That's the thing is, like,
there's nothing you could need more money. And the people that go, oh, well, then how would Elon have bought Twitter? He bought it without his own money anyways.
It wasn't his money to begin with. That's a terrible argument. And that'd be fine. He didn't need to buy it in the first place. Look what he's done to it. I had to take the fucking the app off the home screen of my phone because it looked like I had a goddamn porn app on my fucking phone.
He couldn't hide it next to the other porn app anymore.
Oh, I know. So that was obvious that it's porn. And I'm just like, but that, and then his fucking antics with like the flashing X on top of the headquarters that was pissing the people off across the street, and it was just like
now his new thing is he wants to stop letting you block other users on the app, which is against Google Play and Apple's, like, when you make an app,
Twitter.
if it's a social media app, to be approved to be on Google Play, the Android marketplace, or on the App Store for Apple, you have to be able to block other users.
Right.
Whether it's TikTok or whatever. And he just wants to go, nah, you can't block users. You have to see everything from everybody.
Well, he's in a ton of shit with the Department of Justice, or Twitter is, because it's basically come out that Twitter was going out at when the Department of Justice had issued the subpoenas for Donald Trump concerning January 6th. They put out a subpoena where they wanted Donald Trump's private messages and his DMs, and which is completely legal in the United States. They can go to any social media platform and say, I want all the information about and not just his direct messages, but also what devices were logged in. He logged in from, like, all that information. They have it has already been proven that they have the ability to get that and the right to get it, and Twitter just didn't turn it over. Twitter was going out of their way to stonewall them and keep them from getting it, and it's now basically come out that Musk was doing it to protect Donald Trump simply because Donald Trump is a huge draw to Twitter. Like, it didn't matter whether you were using Twitter or not. Remember, it was just like me. I didn't use Twitter for anything other than to read Donald Trump's tweets. So, I was one of millions of users that were doing the same thing. So why in the world would Twitter want to block and remove Donald Trump, or do anything that would stop him from using the platform?
Yeah.
So
Elon's kind of dumb. It's crazy how not a good businessman he is, but people just praise.
It's like
how good of a businessman he is.
I think they were fined. It was $137 million from the federal government over that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bunch of money.
Yeah, well, he just borrowed it anyways. Just won't pay it back.
Yeah,
he'll write off that loan.
But yeah, it's just, and it's going to be fucking. This coming week is going to be great because Donald Trump has until Friday to turn himself over to the Georgia authorities for his arraignment in Georgia over the election fraud case. So he has to go in. He has to be fingerprinted. He has to be booked. He'll have his mugshot taken. And in the state of Georgia...
Oh, I can't wait for those mugshots.
In the state of Georgia, that stuff is public domain. So anything like that gets done, that shit gets released. Like when he was in New York and was arraigned, mugshots in the state of New York are not public information, so that will never come out. The same thing in D.C. and the same thing in Florida. But it's different in Georgia. And apparently he's not even going to be able to be pardoned if something was to happen, because he can't be pardoned on a federal level because these are state charges. So the theory behind it now is, there's a Democratic governor in place right now, but they're saying, okay, well, the Republicans will just push to get a Republican installed as the governor of Georgia, and they'll just pardon Trump, and that'll be the end of it. Well, back in the early 1920s, a governor was elected, and he sent his lackeys to the different prisons and was like, hey, how much money you would give me and I'll pardon you. And that's what he was doing. It was this huge corruption thing where he was just going from prison to prison to prison, collecting these bribes, and he was writing out, these pardons. Yeah. So the Georgia state legislature changed the laws in Georgia that you cannot be pardoned until you've served at least 5 years of your sentence. So, I mean, if everything goes the way that, we want to see happen, and he actually gets, convicted and actually has to serve time for this, he can't be pardoned. I don't think he'll serve time, and that's been my thing for a while.
That's unfortunate because I just love to see him in an orange jumper, and he's in the lunch, and hey, it's gonna be huge.
Huge.
Can you do me a huge favor? Can I cut the line? I need to go to the front of the line.
Well, I don't think we can. I think I said this on another episode previously, but this is my prediction.
His people are in prison.
Yeah.
They shave their heads and they have swastika tattoo. He'll know. He'll see his people. He'll know where they're at. They'll protect him.
But I don't think he'll see any jail time, because what I believe is going to happen is, especially in this Florida or this Georgia case. Well, yeah, that's another question too: is Secret Service protection in prison? I don't think he'll. Well, I mean, if we'll just say hypothetically that he does go to prison, I think what'll happen is, if he was to go, it would be some like maximum security, solitary confinement, protective custody type situation, where he would never be with the general population, and that he would have not necessarily Secret Service protection, but he would have a higher protection within the prison. But I don't think that's going to happen.
You're asking for new content, and I have an idea for a show.
All right, let's go.
It's Orange is the New Black, but it's Donald Trump in prison.
Well,
and him having to deal with being in prison.
I think what's going to happen is, at least in Georgia, they're going to make him sign, or they're going to come to him and say, "Look, we will." How will I word it? They're still going. He's going to have to plead guilty, and he's going to plead guilty to the charges, but he's not going to be given any type of jail sentence. He'll have to sign an agreement that he'll not run for president. I guarantee that's what it'll be. And then what'll happen is the very next thing he'll do is, because he doesn't want to go to jail. He knows that. He doesn't even want to fight these court cases because he doesn't have the money. Rudy Giuliani, his lawyer, filed for bankruptcy this week because he's out of money. He had to sell his condo on the Upper West Side in Manhattan.
He's having trouble.
Oh yeah, he is trouble. I mean, he's done. He's complete, and then on top of that, he's facing the same RICO charges that Trump is facing.
He hasn't been doing so good since Sacha Baron Cohen was really.
Oh yeah, honestly, I think that's where it started. But but the thing of it is he's come out and said it, and so has many of the other Trump people. Trump hasn't paid him any money for his legal services. Like Trump owes him millions of dollars, and
I don't pay.
Rudy is like he was like I can change him. You know, he's not going to do that to me. He loves me. You know, and then he just got fucked. But
that'd be great. Like halfway through the season, you have Rudy Giuliani joins Trump in prison.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if I think
Rudy's still trying to be friends with him, and Trump keeps blowing him off. The show writes itself. Hold on, let me email Netflix.
They have
what do you call it? Orange is the new. Orange is the new.
Orange.
It's orange is the new something. I'm lost on that last word.
But I don't think Trump will see any type of jail time, but that's because he has the resources and the ability to avoid jail. His lackeys, John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, the ones that were the architects of this scheme of January 6th, they don't have the resources, and they're either going to have to roll on Trump, which I fully expect the majority of these people that are charged, because it's 18 co-defendants were named in these charges in Georgia. For basically racketeering, and there's racketeering, intimidation, election fraud, impersonating an election official, conspiracy to impersonate an election official. It's a bunch of charges. Trump has the resources to stay out, no matter what happens. Yeah. You know, the only thing he's ever told the truth about is he could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue and nobody would do anything about it. So. You know, that's true. It's 100% true. But his co-conspirators, the people that no one knows. I mean, how many people are watching or listening to the show know who John Eastman is? The majority of them don't. But then this was Trump's closest legal advisor. That it was his idea to be like, hey, you know, Mike Pence could just say he's not going to certify the election. You know, we could totally make that argument with the Constitution. And it was his idea. So he doesn't have the resources that Trump has. So he's going to go down, and he's going to be given one of two options, and that is go to jail for 10, 15 years for his crimes, or become state's evidence against Trump. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to become state's evidence against Trump because he's not going to do easy time.
No.
So
Trump is the only one that they can, like you said, they can all just turn and nothing will happen to him anyways.
Yeah, because nobody cares. I mean, for the one thing that the Republicans have right in this situation is there is political undertones to these charges. You know, there was the district attorney in New York specifically said, if you elect me for DA, because they have election process for their district attorneys, if you elect me DA, I will go after Donald Trump. He said that. So, granted, now he was in the right for doing it. So I'm not saying that, you know, Trump was, you know, innocent in this, but they have an argument when they say, oh, this is all political. It's not all political, but yeah, it has some political undertones to it. And the same thing in Georgia. The chick that the chick that is the DA in Georgia, Fannie, whatever her name is. She was basically said the same thing. Is like, we're going to go after Trump.
Yeah.
And so he has this like, oh, they just don't like me because I'm a Republican. I'm like, no, they don't like you and you're a Republican. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be a great week. I mean, and then
Ahsoka's coming out.
Oh yeah,
Trump's gonna get a fucking. I can't wait for the mugshot.
Oh, the fucking merchandise is gonna be huge. I've seen so many.
I asked Chad for what you would call Orange and the Black. Orange is the New Black spinoff that is about Trump going to jail, and Chad said oranges are now black, the Big House edition. I don't know what that.
I don't know what that means, but I like it.
Oranges are now black.
I think that. Well, no, the merchandising that's going to come off of this. People on TikTok are like, oh, I'm going to get the picture of Donald Trump's mugshot and put on a T-shirt, and I'm going to wear that to the Thanksgiving dinner, with the family and all that. And like, yeah, that's a good idea. And it is. It's going to be. It's going to blow up. There's going to be so many people selling Donald Trump prison merch. Because I mean, look at all the money that was made off of the Hillary Clinton lock her up merch. I mean, millions of dollars. Or
let's go fucking Brandon.
Yeah.
Or the Joe Biden stickers to say I did that.
Oh, God. I see. Have you seen those? Have you seen those at gas stations?
Every now and then.
I see them from time to time at gas stations, and it's just like,
Utah is a Republican state, so yeah, I see them.
Oh my God, it's bad. And then they're sitting there going, oh well, look what Joe Biden's done to the gas prices, And they're like, well, wait a minute.
He doesn't set them.
It's like, wasn't it 20 years ago when we were saying the same thing about George Bush? Like, presidents can't set gas prices. Like, no, you're right. Presidents can't, but the guy that's a fuck at the part of the oil baron, he certainly can.
Yeah. Chevron, the people that run the Chevron that are going to set this price out in the morning don't call up the president and go, what is it today, sir?
Yeah, no, 100%. Let's see.
I'm going to call this episode Oranges Are Now Black.
Oranges Are Now Black.
Nobody's going to know what the fuck it's about. Unless they make it this far into the episode, which shout out to Rabowski for that.
Yeah, I figure we'll get an angry hate message from him the morning after we release it, because that's just the way it goes.
Leave my president alone. Something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we got
it. Actually, he won't say that. He'll just say, I'm done. And then it'll just be like a screenshot that he listened to the episode.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Thanks for the download. I mean, I'm grateful for it.
We get it. Oranges, support other oranges. We got it.
The back of the shirt had all the dates and locations of his indictments, like it's a fucking band tour.
Dude, start making it now. You're gonna make so much money. Open the Etsy shop now.
Yeah, go ahead and get ahead of it. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be great. Meanwhile, Mystery and Joy cleaning the ice cream machine, I think is what it is that you should be about that point, or the ice maker. So be sure you get that good and clean.
Or he's sweeping in between the aisles, sweeping up the popcorn and the jizz and whatever else.
Ooh. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Oh.
But anyways, Ahsoka looks good.
Yeah, Ahsoka looks great. Like, I'm so excited for it.
Even if the rest of it sucks, the things I've seen of Chopper are fucking.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
And he's my favorite character anyway, so fuck it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited for Chopper. I'm excited for Sabine. Really excited for Sabine.
Yeah. You'll like the first episode.
Hera's fucking awesome. Hera is Heather's favorite character in Star Wars because she's like that badass female character.
It looks like Elizabeth played her well.
Yeah, I think so. And then of course Thrawn.
I guess it's not even coming. It's coming. They moved the release a little bit, so it's coming out at like 10 or 11 on Tuesday night.
What? I figured it would come. All right.
Yeah, it, it's on the 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, so they moved it way ahead. So yeah, on
Really?
Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you don't have to wait till Wednesday. We're literally 2 days away
Oh
from right
man,
now.
so we're gonna be in the middle of D&D.
Oh,
Oh,
well, we can cut out early.
I was gonna say
You'll hear hello, and I'll be in the background just watching Ahsoka.
I mean,
Oh, is it my turn? All right, hold on.
I guess we'll
You
have.
just hear me go, oh, fuck. Oh, what?
Oh, that's awesome! I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've been saying it since I've been saying it since Mando season 1 came out that we are in this golden era of Star Wars,
Yeah.
and we all thought the golden era was the prequels. Like that was it. That was the best that Star Wars was going to get.
Yeah, I think it started like here and it went up and then it went to the prequels. I don't think it dipped as far as everyone says. Like you said, the stories were still good. They were still good movies. The special effects were fucking fantastic.
Well, I can tell
Yeah,
you.
some dialogue, but then it's come back up, and then other than like I wasn't fantastically impressed with the Kenobi series.
Well, as far as the prequels are concerned, I was a teenage boy during the release of the prequels. I was the target audience for the prequels. And speaking as the target audience, I fucking love the prequels.
Oh yeah,
They were
I just watched them the other day. They're still good.
yeah. I don't
I remember them when they came out. Like you said, when I was a teen, they're the best thing I've fucking ever seen in my life. I was like,
yeah.
holy fuck.
Yeah. I didn't, and really honestly, I didn't get or understand or even know about the hate that Star Wars was getting until
Oh yeah,
I was in
yeah.
college and people were talking
Oh,
about fucking Jar Jar Binks. I'm like, well, I thought he was kind of funny. Like I was cool with it. You kind of needed that comic relief. And then as I got a little bit older after that, I was like, no, Jar Jar was a pivotal character. Yeah, you made him funny to make the kids happy, but his
yeah.
his role in the movie goes even deeper than just being the comic relief. It was he was the one that got suckered into calling for the vote of no confidence. Like Palpatine's rise to power was because of Jar Jar Binks.
Hmm.
And looking at it from that frame, I'm like, I don't get it. And then the other thing that really I don't understand and I'll never understand is the hate that the actor got.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that until like literally a couple years ago. I didn't know people were literally hating on Hayden Christensen. I'd always wondered like where the fuck he went. I'd only seen him in like two movies since. Like he's just in nothing. I didn't realize
Well,
just
I know that
barrage.
I know that Jake Lloyd that played young Anakin, he caught a lot of shit for his acting and I knew about that. And I was always kind of like, oh, I don't understand. He's a kid. Like he's not going to be an Anthony Hopkins. He's not going to be this amazing actor. He's fucking 8. So,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting. Like why are we making this a big deal? And then
I don't know.
I didn't know about Hayden until after I knew about
Yeah.
Ahmed Best, which Jar Jar Binks. And I was just
I think I learned about it a few years ago when I really got into Game of Thrones and the same thing kind of happened like to Lena, like Cersei and the kid that plays Joffrey, how much fucking hate they got
yeah.
because they were such good fucking actors
Yeah, I don't
that they got hate in the real world for playing the fuck out of a character.
I think that the actor that played Joffrey, I think he said he was done acting. Like
Yeah,
he
the
didn't want to
same
do
thing.
anything else.
They did the same fucking thing they did to Hayden. They made him
Yeah.
fucking hate what he did, even though he killed it, he was so fucking good.
Yeah. Or oh golly, the boy that played uh
Bro, he doesn't even come up. I was trying to look up his name. Oh, there he is, Jack Gleason.
oh shit. What's his name from Harry Potter? Um
Who? His name or her name?
His name. He was
Daniel Radcliffe.
no, he was the Slytherin. He was the blonde. I can't. It's so bad. I can't remember his name, or I can't remember the character's name.
Oh, Potter.
Yeah,
Tom Felton.
yeah, Tom Felton. Yeah, but yeah, the same
Harry
thing.
Potter.
Harry
If
Potter.
you would have just done that, I would
Yeah.
have known.
But yeah, it's the same thing. Like he didn't. He said he didn't want to act anymore because of it. You know,
Oh, and it's so unfortunate that like people are so they're too dumb to separate the difference. You hate the character, but celebrate the fucking performance. Joffrey has to be one of the most. I've never hated a character more.
oh
I don't
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. His death was one of the greatest on screen
So fucking
television movie.
satisfying.
Yeah, because it was like you were happy to see a child die in that episode.
Yeah,
But
and I would have told him that if I seen him, I would have been, oh my, fucking amazing, dude. You're amazing, incredible. I never would have been like spitting at him and go, shame,
oh yeah, no,
shame. And
I would have
fucking-
I would have just shaken his hand and been like, you made me hate you, and that's I don't hate. You know, I'm not that person. And to sit there and say, I loathed your character's existence. Like I hated watching episodes. You know, there's another one.
Celebrate when somebody dies. Like
Have you watched House?
the
The
Doctor Show.
The Doctor Show.
I've seen a bunch of it.
Did you ever see the episodes where the really big black guy had taken over like running the hospital and had made it his vendetta to get rid of House?
Foreman.
No. This guy. The character's name was Vogler.
Oh no, I don't
And
remember that guy.
well, there was two sets of episodes, two series of episodes that, and I think they all took place in like the same season. That the whole thing revolved around like House isn't worth anything. He's trash. He's a detriment to the company or to the hospital. I want to get him fired. And I hated those episodes because I hated that character. Like whenever I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a watch through of House because it's one of my favorite shows, I'll skip that entire season. As soon as it gets to the Vogler season, I just skip it. And then there was another series of episodes where I forget the name of the actor, but he plays in all of the other movies you see him in, he plays like a really nice person. And he plays a.
Look him up. I never seen him in House.
Really?
I didn't watch the later seasons.
No, that was early. That was like season 2, season 3.
Oh, was it? Well,
Yeah.
Maybe I only saw the later season. I don't remember him at all.
Yeah, it was a whole it was most of a season that revolved around him being a part of the hospital, and I just hated
It's
it.
like he hasn't done much other than Hawaii Five-0 in the last 10 years.
But he's on that list too of actors that or characters that I just hated to watch. And then
but that's you did a good job.
yeah. Oh yeah, and I don't begrudge that guy. I mean, I'm not going to go up to that guy and go, "Fuck you, you upset Dr. House." Like, what the fuck?
It blows my mind, but then I remember, people think the earth is flat, so then it makes sense to me. Some people are just too dumb to even
totally get it.
They're so separated from reality that I get it. They see that. They see him and they go, "Oh, that's Joffrey. Fuck you. You killed Sean Bean."
You and like every other franchise in the history of television and movies.
You've been killing Sean Bean for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've disliked actors for their off-screen antics, not their
that's
not
always
their
that's always
on-screen.
been my thing. Like
and that's one of the things that really upsets me with Kevin Spacey is I love
he's really good on screen, but he's such a fucking piece of shit.
Well, did you see that the charges for his sexual?
I don't stay up. I don't stay up on my King Spacey.
You should stay up on Kevin
Spacey.
Spacey stuff. The charges of him sexually assaulting that waiter or whatever it was. I think he was found not guilty. I think he was acquitted of the charges. So, but he went off.
There's
the
a
deep end
difference.
with that.
There's a difference, at least in my mind. There's a difference to what he did versus what Louis did. It's insane to me how hard people went on Louis. Yeah, what he did was wrong, but it's crazy that people kind of forgive Kevin and still watch his shit and kind of go, eh. And then people like absolutely want to fucking cancel Louis C.K.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's so wildly different. People went harder on Louis than they did on fucking what's the Jello man? The Jello. I
Bill
can't
Bill
remember his fucking
Cosby.
name. Bill Cosby.
This is
Yeah,
the episode of
I
us can't
see.
name actors. Is what this whole episode is about.
We can only name their lines, not their name. The Jello.
It's out of you, and that's the thing is Bill Cosby has done some of the most iconic movies in television in the last 50 years, and you're like, oh, Jello.
I go to Jello, but you knew who I was talking
I
about.
did. That's the sad part.
Yeah, people. I seen people hate harder on. Again, what he did was wrong, but was it literally fucking destroy and cancel and ruin his entire career? I don't know. But then somehow Jello still gets a career and people still sell out his shows. That fucking blows my mind.
And
Like,
he's rotting in prison, if I'm not mistaken. He's lost his vision. He's
oh, I seen a
yeah.
picture. He looked fucking
Yeah.
rough, man.
Well, I mean, and then the fact that it comes out that he was that piece of shit. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh well, he kind of
have you
maybe.
seen have you seen the clip, the Cosby Show clip of him talking about his barbecue sauce?
No.
Oh my God, you haven't seen it's from the Cosby Show, and it's him talking about my special sauce. I put it on the ribs, and the people fall asleep, and I slip up there to the room. Like, dude, it's fucking, it's insane
I
to
think I've
watch it.
seen that episode.
Yeah, he's talking about his barbecue sauce, and it puts people to sleep and like gets him in the mood, and like he's talking about like slipping his secret
Wow.
ingredients into his barbecue sauce, and it's in the fucking Cosby Show from like 30 fucking years ago.
Oh man. I would have
Like,
never put that together.
yeah,
Oh.
look it up, Cosby barbecue sauce, and you'll see and you're like watching it now, knowing everything. You're like, I don't know if he mentions Quaaludes either, but I can't remember. I need to watch it again, but it's fucking wild watching
Wow.
it when you realize like, oh, he actually did probably have a barbecue sauce that he was slipping stuff into that made people sleepy.
That's bad.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
the Jello.
the
That,
Jello.
that guy,
Yeah,
Bill
that
Cosby.
guy.
I
It's like,
forgot his
fuck
name.
me. It's so bad.
I could remember Potter. Tom Felton.
Potter. Harry Potter. All right. Well, let's try to keep it.
Speaking of child actors, though,
Okay.
we can go into. You want to do a cream of the week?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get into cream of the week because
While
we're
we're
approaching an
talking
hour
about
and a half.
child actors, yeah, while we're talking about child actors and Disney making god awful terrible decisions, um, the have you ever seen the Mysterious Benedict Society?
No.
Okay, so it's fucking awesome. So how I found it was through TikTok. I seen like a clip, and it was all these kids. They're like doing a test, and they walk into this room, and they have to go in the room one at a time, and they have to pass the test to go on to the like next stage. And they go into the room, and there's it's like linoleum with just black and white squares across the room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little oval that on when they first walk in it says uh, get to the other side of the room without walking on a white or black square. And so then they have to solve that and get to the other side. It's like the first girl goes in and she like looks at it and she like looks around and she goes, no, this is a test. I'm not gonna do it. And they're like, all right, you failed. You can go home now. And she's like, what? They're like, no, that wasn't how you do it. So then there's another girl that her whole quirk, she has a bucket on her side where she has like all these tools and stuff. And so she like ties a rope to the other side of the room and like goes across on the rope. And then like the main star of the show, uh, Reynard Meldoon, Reynard, he goes in and he like looks around for a second and then he goes, oh, and he just walks straight across. And all the kids are like, what? You just walked across? And he's like, yeah, if you actually looked at the tiles, none of them were squares. They were wider than they were long. They were all rectangles. So you could just walk across. And they're like, oh, good job, you passed. And they like go on. So the whole thing is like, it's like one of those. Have you ever seen what's his name in the Unfortunate Events? A series of unfortunate events. You know what I'm talking about? Lemony Snicket's.
Wasn't that
Have,
Jim Carrey?
in the original movies, and then they did a
Oh,
Netflix one with Neil Patrick Harris.
yeah. Once again,
So
the episode where we can't name actors.
I had to look it up. Luckily, I had it on my other screen because I forgot his name. It's kind of like that. It's like a kids like mystery show. So the Mysterious Benedict Society. It's not just about the kids testing. It's about Mr. Benedict. He's a scientist, and this all happens in the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler if you're gonna watch it. But I'll get to the fact of why you can't watch it in a second. Uh, uh, he gathers all these kids that are super smart and were able to pass all his tests. And he's like, "All right, I need you to help me with the emergency." And then you realize the entire time, the whole first episode, you might have noticed that you might not have, in the newspaper, on the TV, on the radio, everything's talking about the emergency, everything's bad. Make sure you go and shop because the emergency. Like they like walk by a fruit stand and he's like, "Oh, you might want to get these are the last plums of the season because the emergency they're going, they're all dying off. You better get extra plums." And like so the whole thing has like a kind of like hidden message about how society and, they're always they prefer you to be like in a state of, chaos and being worried and be like, "Oh, I have to go shop and I have to do this and I have to go to work and I have to, always worried about the emergency." But yeah, Mr. Benedict, gets all these kids and he's telling them, "Oh yeah, the emergency's fake. They're somebody's broadcasting it and making it up to create this sense of chaos in everybody, and we need to figure out who it is and stop it." Uh, so yeah, it's really cool. So why Disney made a bad decision? I mentioned that before. It's a Disney original. They made it for Disney Plus. They made 2 seasons. The first season came out in 2021. Second season came out at the very end in like December of 2022. And like 2 months ago, right around the time it was going viral, and I was seeing it all over TikTok, and like I've been seeing it for months. I keep seeing like clips and clips. I was like, "Oh, I need to watch it. I need to watch it." Well, finally, the other day, I went to try and go watch it. Disney has pulled it off of Disney Plus. It's not on there.
Really?
You can't fucking watch it, and because it's an exclusive to them, you can't watch it. So the only way to watch it is you're gonna have to pirate it. We talked about pirating before.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately, if you want to watch it, so this might be a bad recommendation for me because I don't know how many people know, where or how to get shows like this that you can't fucking watch. But uh, my favorite of the whole show, and it's almost worth watching it just for her. Like the kid actors are all right. They're not like fucking Joffrey level, like phenomenal, but they're pretty good. But there's one, her name is Constance, and I think she's supposed to be like Dutch or something. She has like a slight accent, but she's like very, very straightforward. She tells you like exactly how it is. She doesn't hold back. And like she's so fucking funny in the show, the way they've written her character. Like there's a point there Mr. Benedict is like building a puzzle and she like comes in and she's like, "Do old people just build puzzles to relieve stress?" And he's like, "I'm not really that old. I'm only 51." And she's like, "I know, it's disgusting." And like my favorite moment of hers, uh, and this isn't a spoiler, and it's way deep in the second season, but there's a part where this like German scientist lady captures her and takes her down in this basement because she thinks Constance is telepathic and she's trying to prove it. So all the other kids are out looking for her, trying to find her, and this scientist is like questioning her like in this basement. And so she has these cards that have like a shape on the other side of it, like a yellow square or a black circle or whatever. And she's like, "Okay, Constance, tell me, what do you see on the other side of this card?" And Constance is like, I don't know, a failure, a loser, a absolute worthless scientist." And she's like, "No, no, no, Constance." Right? She's like, "Constance, I mean on the card." Like she's like, "I'm not doing all that bad. I'm fine." That's what the scientist said. And Constance is like, "Fine. Maybe I do not understand what this word means, fine. Does it mean you have no friends or you are stuck in a basement with a little girl by yourself?" like she's just fucking going in on the scientist. And like right then all her friends come into the room. They finally found where they were hiding out, and they get in there and they hear crying, and they're like, "Oh no, Constance!" And they run back there, and it wasn't Constance that was crying. It was the like scientist lady, because Constance was just fucking roasting her. Like, yeah, it. I can't even remember some of her other lines. Fuck, Constance is so funny though. Like, it's a fun show though. It'd be like Izzy would fucking love it. I'll tell you what.
All right.
Heather would probably really like it too. Like, it has fun like little like smart things and stuff that the students do. Like they get in this institution, and they like their first test with their teacher. He's like, "All right, we have three light switches here." And it's that. Have you heard that riddle where there's three light switches, and there's a light in the other room, but you can only go to the other room once? How do you figure out which light switch is the one that goes to the light? That's like all the kids are trying to figure it out. And the one girl with her little bucket, who she's like quirky and weird, she's like, well, obviously it's the one that's 2.5 inches away from the wall, because no contractor in the right mind would put the other one way out there or right by there. And the teacher's like, yeah, okay. logically, logically, how? And she's like, yeah, but am I right? And he's like, yeah. Well, yes, you're technically right, but I'm looking for the logical answer. And she's like, yes.
All
Yeah,
right. All right.
it's pretty cool. Like, it's fun. You're gonna have to pirate it, unfortunately, but
Fuck 'em.
because Disney's dumb. They spent all this money making an original, and it starts going viral like on TikTok. Like, I kept seeing fucking clips everywhere of it. I don't know how viral I would say. Every clip I saw had like several 100,000 likes on it, and everyone was like asking, "What the fuck? What's this show? What's this show?" Like, yeah, I don't, I don't get why they pull shows. Like, what's the cost factor of leaving a show up? Like, how much bandwidth does that cost you? Like, you already spent the money to make the show.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Like, it can't be that much to just keep housing it's already done.
And the information's already there.
Yeah, unless because they're not paying residuals. That's why the whole strike's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't get what the cost is of leaving the show. I don't know.
That's bigger brains than we are, I guess.
Yeah, that's beyond me. I don't know how streaming works, but Cosby's conviction was overturned. That's sad.
Well, so that's your cream of the week.
Yeah, the Mysterious Benedict Society.
The Mysterious Benedict Society.
If you don't feel like going and watching the whole thing, then just go to YouTube and look up Mysterious Benedict Society Constance clips and just watch her. Just for her, she's funny. It's just worth it for that. But
well, my cream of the week is decidedly less in depth than yours. We had another great Saturday night of Farming Sim streaming last night. We're moving along in our journey to become pig barons, so we're getting there.
Oh, you're building up your farm?
Yeah, we're building it up. I will say that strangely, I've had more success in viewership on Farming Sim streams than I have for any other type of streaming that I've ever done in all of my time streaming. I've received more followers through Farming Sim, more views. I had my first rando raid last night. Just folks, they too were
Just
playing.
raided you?
Yeah, they were playing Farming Sim, and he was like, we're done for the night. So they raided out to me, and I was just like, holy shit! So I was really excited.
What are you doing to these pigs when you get them?
Well, we're not feeding them for 8 months, I think.
You just have pigs?
We just have
survive?
Yeah, it's really weird the way Farming Simulator can be like incredibly in depth, but also not at the same time. Like, you have to manage your resources, and you have to manage the farm, and know when you need to sell something, and all of these things. But if you don't feed the animals, they just continue to grow just fine. And then
do they just eat scraps and grass and stuff?
I guess. I mean, it doesn't really say. You
Do
don't.
you get bacon or do you just sell them?
We just sell them. So yeah,
Oh.
we bring them on, we raise them up, and
I
then
guess it's not a cooking simulator; it's a farming
no, that's the other
simulator.
game. No, but then right before we sell them, the month before we sell them, we feed them, and it increases their value. And that
Oh, you starve him for 8 months, and then you feed him, and then you
fatten them
bring a
up.
farmer and you go, hurry, hurry, come look at him. Look how fat he is. Look at that. He's a great pig.
Yeah, that's
He
it.
eats. He
Yeah,
eats so well.
yeah, it's essentially the way it works. And then
They're like, "Do you have a growth chart?" And you're like, "No, we don't.
no,
We don't.
we don't do
We
that.
don't.
We don't
We
follow
don't
that.
track that. It's just right now. Just look at him and buy him."
But then what's even weirder is, you don't have to have two of an animal for them to breed. I think they just breed through osmosis.
How do they just
You just have them.
Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, they
That's
just
another one
yeah.
they could fucking live
It's
action remake that they won't.
it's just weird. The things that are, it is incredibly difficult to, load stuff onto trailers and whatnot. Like you have to be really good at, you have to be a certified fork truck driver to be able to do it. So it's like you really have to be like really good at things like that. But then you just don't have to worry about feeding the animals; they're fine.
Is it
It's
is
just
it
weird.
like Roller Coaster Tycoon, or is it like Sims, or is it like how in depth is the farming?
It's very in depth. I mean, you have to manage your soil type. You have to, you have to do your cultivation, your weeding, your fertilizing. You have to know what type of vehicles that you need to do what you want them to do, and there's all kinds of, like, it's super in depth in certain parts.
Do you hire
You
like
can
farm hands,
I
or
mean, kind of like you can be, say, you're plowing a field, and you don't want to do it yourself. You can hire an AI, and it costs so much money per hour for them to be there, and they'll cut they'll plow the field or plant the field or whatever. So I mean, there's a little bit like that, but you don't have to manage. You don't have like a staff of farm hands or anything like that. So
huh?
yeah. So yeah, we're doing good. We're getting ready to switch over. And I think we did. We switched over, and we switched from growing wheat to we're growing soybeans now. So, and then that'll help us. That'll help us build up our finances to increase the pigs. So, and the pigs generate fertilizer that you can then put on the on the farm on the fields and whatnot. It's fun. But like I said, I'm going to continue to stream it simply because I've
Works out, I guess.
it works out. I've had more success in followers and viewership with that than anything else.
I've always been way. I mean, I haven't streamed in years, but back when I did, I always had way more success streaming like off-brand, like weird games that not everyone's playing. I mean, there's still streamers and still people playing it,
Right.
but if it's not like insanely popular, like I always did really well.
It varies. I've found that in today's streaming world is very niche, and if you're going to stream those off-brand games, that's pretty much all you can stream.
Oh yeah, that I've seen that too.
Yeah. And
Sometimes you
then
play another game, they come in and go, "Well, yo, what the fuck is this? I thought
yeah.
we were farming pigs, bro."
Right.
I go, "Yeah, but I play
Yeah.
other stuff too." They go, "Ew, I
Right.
don't want to follow you anymore."
And so I've noticed that, and then I've had some decent success with Warship, World of Warships, and things like that, and we do somewhat okay with the D&D stream, but yeah, it's just weird. Twitch is weird. Twitch is just
Yeah.
weird. So
Which
well,
is weird. And they don't want to pay residuals. You should probably strike.
no, I'm doing okay on Twitch. I've made more money there through Twitch than I'd ever expected to, so I'm quite happy with that.
Oh.
But all right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add to the episode, or are we going to call it an episode?
Let me check. I thought I wrote notes of something I wanted to talk about.
Notes. Look at you.
Thought I did. I don't see them. Maybe I didn't. Huh. I don't know where it went if I did. Well, I guess I didn't. So never mind. Yeah, I can't think
Okay.
of anything else. I assume. I assume next week will probably be a Star Wars episode.
Yeah, more than
We're gonna have
likely.
two. We're gonna have two Ahsoka episodes. We're gonna have to talk about.
It'll probably be Ahsoka and probably some more politics because we'll have the arraignments in or the arraignment
Yeah.
done by then. So we'll definitely have to talk about the awesome mugshot pictures. Might even have to
So,
change our layout on Twitch to include a picture of him in his mugshot.
yeah,
Which
we should probably update that anyways.
yeah, we really need to get rid of facebook.com/pigspod and put
Yeah, don't go
pigspod.com.
there. Go to pigspod.com.
I mean, you can go to pigspod or facebook.com/pigspod, but it's a lonely, lonely place because neither one of us have done anything with it. So, alrighty, Oreo. Well, it was an absolute pleasure as usual. Thank you to
That was an
Rabble.
episode.
Yeah, thank you to Rabble and Obi
Was there for
Wayne.
a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's still here.
He might still be here. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you to everybody that came and hung out for a little bit, and I guess that's it.
Wayne is like, when like your dog can be sound asleep, completely out, and you say the word park or walk. Wayne's like that with like Star Wars.
It's actually really true.
He's probably here, but he's out. He's like, "Where's, Star Wars. Oh man, can I tell you some things about the stars and the wars?
He can. All right, let's call it there.
All right, bye Rabowski.
Bye, Rabowski. Bye, Mystery.
Fuck you, Rab. Yeah, bye you.
Bye, Oreo.